Hello and welcome to my character rigging video. Right, this is my Dominance War character rig, custom built by myself. The research I did a detailed tutorial from the digital tutors website called Character Rigging for Production, and these videos basically help plan and explain every single stage of the rigging process, and took into detail about bone placement and different techniques like IK and FK blending. Basically a bible of all for all your rigging, for all character rigging. The target platform for this model will be PC because it's a Dominance War character. The hierarchies and bone placement. First, well, I can show you the layers as well. There's clear layers of, that's the rig itself. There's all the bones in the rig. So I can show it properly. Expand this viewport for you. There's the control objects, all of the user interface objects on that as well. F-forward kinematics control. There's the FK rig and the IK rig for the blending, and the objects which hide like the dummies and things, and the IK holders. Right. There's a consideration of anatomy. I've taken, as you can see, that the hands there, the bone placement needs to be very different from the other hand, which is a lot smaller and a lot more compact than that claw, which I've been naming it throughout this entire process. The colour schemes are very clear and precise. The right hand side of the character is in green, left side in yellow, browny yellow, with the spine and head the blue colour. This shows, this gives a clear indication to the animator about what side they're controlling at any given time, and the control objects also mirror this colour scheme. Here's the UI controls, so we up down at the foot with these user interface controls. We have a main foot control here which moves the whole foot up and down like that. We have different rotations which are all locked, so say for instance the user can't move that in any way, they can only rotate that control for the foot. There's that control for the foot which bends the toes, this one which bends the ball of the foot. I'll hide the character here because I'll give an example at the end of how it's skinned. There's the heel control and the knee control to change the angle of the knee. Again, this can only be moved in the Z-axis. It's the same for the other foot. There's also a custom UI control that I built into it, which I'll bring back the rig. If you change this slider up and down, it changes the banking of the foot. This was done using scripting techniques, which basically, as the foot moves that way, it changes the angle of, as the slider is changed, it is changed in value, it changes the angle of the foot. Basically quite simple. We have a main hip control, which is rotating around like that. Our chest control. The chest rotates, and then you can set the transform back to 0, and it will return to its locked position. There's more controls here. These controls are for the IK rig, and I can show you the blending whilst we're here now. See, you can move the wrist like that, and you can also rotate it from here, changing the position of that around like so, and then you can use these sliders on the screen to transform between IK system and the FK system. If I also go back to the layers and turn FK controls on, these are the controls for the elbow around here. It will then blend, and then blend between the two. It will blend positions, and if I just show you the FK rig and the IK rig, what positions that is in, it clearly blends between the two. There's also got automation with the hand clasping. This was done using Reaction Wizard and changing the two, having two distinct states of the fingers and setting them to the values of the sliders. Right, the strengths for this rig, or the anatomy has been taken into consideration, and the bone placement is relatively accurate with the use of fins to give an idea of the mass of the mesh itself when the animator needs the mesh to be hidden. There's clear and accurate controls, as you can see, but there's also a main world control which moves the entire object, as well as all the rigs. The whole thing can be just moved from this one central control. It's clear and concise with what they do. This one at the back also just rotates it around. The IK and FK blending gives the animator more options and freedom to animate the way that they want to. And the IK-FK blending also just gives the animator that other dimension to create movements that wouldn't otherwise be able to be achieved. The spine has been created with clever use of the skin modifier, in that there is a spline that runs through and follows the line of the spine itself, and this spline has points on it which have dummies linked. You can see the dummies there. These dummies are linked to the spine bones themselves, and they are also weighted to the points upon the spline, and then they have different weights applied to them. So the dummy at the very top is linked to this control object, and then as the spline moves due to the rotation of the control object, the points along the spline and the dummies weighted to those points move at the percentage that it's weighted at. Weaknesses of the rig: the automation can be a lot better. Like, well, I could have had controls for each finger rather than the hand as a whole. I could have also implemented an IK-FK blend system for the legs as well. I didn't include any stretchy bones, which would have allowed for a more cartoony style of animation, if that is what the animator wanted. Another weakness of the rig, there could have been added bones for movement of the peripheral extrusions in the mesh, like these horns on the head, for instance, could have had bones in them for movement, and maybe this armour on his shoulder could have had some bones in for subtle movements. Improvements to the rig, one would be facial controls. This would just add even more control for the animator. It would allow them to create close-up animations of the face itself for speech, cutscenes and things like that. The automation could have been massively improved with individual finger controls, and also clicks, switches between hand animation and automation. The facial controls could be implemented by adding in much finer bones and perhaps getting rid of the head bone altogether. The improved automation would be added with individual controls, and these sliders would go and would be replaced by custom attributes in an attribute holder. Right, I think that pretty much concludes my video on my rig. Thank you very much.